Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Well, here I am out on a wet, humid Canadian morning. I hate these mornings because you really can't fly very much, but it's not raining at the moment, so I'm going to fly. And the topic of this video is why I love the DJI Spark. Now, if you go to any type of drone forum on the internet, a lot of times the DJI Spark doesn't get a lot of love. It's like people think it's a toy. And I think they think it's a toy because it doesn't cost very much. Matter of fact, right now, as of today, if you go on the DJI store, you can get the DJI Spark Fly More combo for $549 US, which is an awesome, awesome deal. I wonder if they lowered the price because the Spark Pro is coming out soon. But that's for another topic, on another day. Now in this video, I'm going to cover why I love the DJI Spark. For me, there's more pros than there are cons. Matter of fact, there's a lot more pros than cons. The DJI Spark is actually really good. And it was the first DJI drone to introduce two features that we're so used to today. One was the gesture controls and the other was the quick shots. Now we take those as common practice today in DJI drones, but back then, no, it's state of the art. And when I say back then, I mean a year ago, back in May of 2017. Yep, that's how long the DJI Spark has been out. It was released a year ago. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over why I love the DJI Spark so much and show you my pros and what I think are the cons. So here we go. All right, taking a look at the DJI Spark. I carry it around in this semi-waterproof case. And here we go, here's the Spark. Now the first thing I love about the Spark is the controller. I love the simplicity of it. Sure, it looks like a Mavic Air controller because it's Wi-Fi. However, this one here, now this is what some people might think is a little crazy. I like it because you don't have to attach a cable. You see your phone connects here via Wi-Fi to the controller. It doesn't connect the Wi-Fi to the Spark when you use the actual controller. So I don't have to fiddle with a cable to go from my phone to the actual controller and then have the typical DJI Go 4 app controller suck the power out of my phone. So I like having my phone down here and just connecting via Wi-Fi. So no cables for the phone connected to the controller. To me, that's a plus. Next thing I love about the Spark are the actual batteries. They're smart batteries. Sure, people are going to say I'm crazy because you don't get a lot of flight time. So you do need a lot of batteries. I fly with 3. I wouldn't recommend flying with anything less than 3 batteries, but with 3 batteries it's pretty decent, and they are rated for 16 minutes, but you really only get about 12 to 14 minutes depending on how you fly. If you go in sport mode, you're going to get a lot less flight time. But the great thing about these little batteries is they're inexpensive and they charge up really fast. They charge up the fastest of all the DJI batteries. Let's take a look at the Spark itself. So underneath, here's another reason to love the Spark. You have the optical flow sensors on the bottom and the precision landing sensors. Not too many drones at this price range come with precision landing. This thing here can fly out a mile and come back and land in the exact same spot that it took off from. The access to the micro SD card is actually decent. It goes in and out real easy. I find on the Mavic Air, it's a little sticky when you put your little SD card in, but on the Spark, it's easy to get your finger in there, and I like the way this little design here with the Spark logo on the back. Very nice. For the price of the Spark, you get forward obstacle sensing and you actually get active track combined together, which is pretty decent for a drone of this price range. Really good. Now the camera is only a 2-axis gimbal, but it works really well because it has digital image stabilization, because it has a sensor the same size as in the Mavic Air and the Mavic Pro. So it makes use of all of that sensor for the digital image stabilization. Now what you lose with digital image stabilization is low light ability, and the image quality out of the camera is only 1080p. Now 1080p is perfect for YouTube. If you're going to do it for professional, real estate, or something of a commercial level, then this is not very good. You need something that's 4K for that. But for just making videos of your family, outings, vacation, YouTube, well, 1080p is more than enough. Now, of course, the Spark is really portable, and it does have the folding props. And these props are not noisy, not like the Mavic Air. The Mavic Air is probably the noisiest drone that DJI has ever made. But these ones here are pretty decent. You can fly this in a crowd of people, and nobody knows your Spark is flying around. You fly a Mavic Air in a crowd of people and everybody looks up to see what the hell is making all that noise. All right, I switched on record on the Spark. Here I am. How you doing, guys? Let's start up the motors. Not very loud, is it? Like the motors are spinning, but you really can't hear them. Here, I'll have it hover. Hover nice and low. It's looking at its landing pad, and it's sitting there quite stable. So the Spark is pretty decent. Spin it around and I can shoot it away up. It's going to go up slow because I have it in normal mode. And I'll have the camera look down at me. Here I am. Now here's one thing I like about the Spark. You see the camera's pointing forward and the Spark is sitting here in the air? If I move forward, watch the camera. See, it tilts up to go nicely, but at this speed, I'm not getting the props in the video. No concern whatsoever. Now you are going to get the little propellers in the actual camera when you go into sport mode, because this whole Spark is going to tilt like this to go really fast. So when I flick it here to sport mode, so here we go. And if I turn it around, in sport mode, the digital stabilization has a lot of difficulties with actually keeping the gimbal still. But it's such a cool drone for flying around. You can go someplace on vacation with this and fly around and get to your location. Like say I wanted to take a video of that tree right back there behind the net. I could get there really quick in sport mode and take it out of sport mode. There we have the tree. And there we can see, say that tree was the Statue of Liberty. When the Phantom 4 was first released, it had tap to fly, and the Spark has tap to fly on it. I've got the tap to fly on me, and I'll hit go. I've selected myself green, and it should fly back to me. Here we are. It's got the normal obstacle avoidance. You walk in front, the controller should go nuts saying there's somebody in front. It says there's somebody less than a meter away in front of me, which is cool. And like I mentioned, it has precision landing, so I can do that. I can say home, slide to return home and land. There we go. So it will beep. I'm going to head over to where it's going to land. This is the cool thing about the Spark. It's totally autonomous. So if it has a low battery or if you lose signal, it will fly home. So it goes landing. Let's see how well it lands on our little H here. Down, beeping away, and that's not bad. It's pretty close to where it took off, so that's pretty decent. And of course the Spark was the first to introduce gesture control, which I think is kind of gimmicky. I have no use for it, but I do like launching from the palm. So here I don't need my controller. There's my head on the controller with the Spark scene, and I'll just turn it around. You just tap this twice and you're all good to go. So here we go, tap twice, see if it finds my face. 1, 2. It's green, it's gonna go red. And go red. And there we go. So it takes off. And when you take off in gesture mode, it automatically goes into photo mode. And with gestures, you can take pictures and all that good stuff. If you're on vacation, you could do your quick shots. And with the quick shots, the Spark will actually fly out, do what it has to do, and come back to you. You don't have to do anything. These are probably the best thing for being on vacation, so that you really don't have to do any hands-on. You can put down the controller and let things happen. And this one's popular for when you're out places. You have the circle mode. It should go around in a circle. There we go. It's going to the left. Now my favorite feature on the Spark has got to be, due to its size, it would be tripod mode. So we're going to do some tripod mode over here. So there we have some leaves and stuff in front of us, and I want it to get through this tiny little hole, and I'm just going to fly it through this tiny little hole. Hopefully I don't hit anything, because it will just fall in the water. That's telling me there's something in front of the sensor. It's a good thing in tripod mode it leaves the sensors on. Looking down at the swamp. Oh, now the Spark suffers from the same thing that the Mavic Air and the Mavic Pro do. When it's over water, it actually lowers itself. So it was actually lowering itself there. I went down to 0.7 of a meter over the water. That's not good. That's full speed on tripod mode. Not very fast. It's basically walking speed, but slow movements that you can actually handle it quite well. And a great feature on the DJI Spark is, of course, the active track. It's following me right now. It's behind me. And it's pretty cool. There's a tree right here. It should go around that, no problem. And the only thing it's lacking is if I walk backwards, watch what happens. I can actually walk it into a tree. So this is not a good thing. I actually have to be mindful. Nope, that's bad. Going back. It's going backwards. You're going to keep it forward. But if you're going to turn around, you have to sort of turn around in a wide open space so that it doesn't get all messed up. So now it should be okay. It should be behind me someplace. It should avoid the tree. And it should follow me. Let's see, if I hop on a skateboard, can it follow me a little faster? I don't really have my skateboard shoes on, but we'll see. Does it keep up? Oh, it's keeping up. doing pretty good back there. So this is one of the great things about Active Track, is it works well as long as you're mindful that it has no sensors in the rear. So you can see from my short video that the DJI Spark, it's not a toy, it's actually a professional drone. If you look at all the other drones on the market by DJI, the Spark has about 80% of the same capabilities. Now everything I just showed you in the video, well, those are all the things I love about the Spark. But there's a few things that I think could be improved. For one thing, the camera's 1080p. So that's perfect for my use and other people's use. 1080p is good. But if you have 4K, then you can crop in. I crop my videos a lot. A lot of times something is a little too far away or off in a corner, so I just crop the video and it still looks great on YouTube because I'm dealing with 4K. Now, even though the video on the Spark is 1080p, it's not a really good 1080p. It's an okay 1080p. The colors look great, the image looks sharp, everything looks great. But if you check the megabits that it's recording at 24 megabits a second. That's really low. A low bit rate on a drone usually means that if things are moving really quick, they might get a little mushy and pixelated. The flight time would probably be my biggest gripe because even though I use 3 batteries, it's amazing how fast you can go through 3 batteries when you're only getting 12 minutes of flight time. That means that's a lot of takeoff and landing and takeoff and landing, and sometimes you might be missing what you're trying to film. Now on drones like the Mavic Air, they put the antennas to receive your signals from your controller. They put them in the arms up front and they put them nice and long. So that's why the Mavic Air flies farther than the Spark. If they did that on the Spark, well, the Spark would probably fly quite a long distance as well. But no, when DJI made this, they made it really compact and they put the antennas right here in the back and they're sealed inside. And that means if you're flying forward, it's great for the controller to reach it from the back. But as soon as you turn sideways any amount, the antennas are going to lose reception and you're going to lose signal. And finally, the only real gripe I have with the Spark is that there's no sensors in the back. This thing is so tiny, it really needs sensors in the back because as you saw in the video, if you're doing active track and you move towards the Spark, it will fly backwards if you have it enabled, and it will fly backwards into whatever's there. So that's usually a problem on drones. So in the future, any drone you buy that's from DJI, make sure there's rear obstacle avoidance sensors. That's a big deal, I tell you. Alright, so your takeaways from this video are the Spark's cool, it's still relevant in 2018, it's not a toy, it's a really good drone. And if you don't have one, I'd go right now to the DJI store, check out the Fly More package at $549, that's a really good deal. These things are awesome, especially if you're going on vacation. One of the better drones to have for a vacation. And remember, it takes photos at 12 megapixels, just like all the other drones, so it's pretty decent. And one thing I forgot to show in the video, I just realized it, is that it has the capability of doing panoramics, and really good panoramics too, which in a compact unit like this, really good when you're on vacation if you want to get that skyline or amazing shots of the surrounding area. Really good drone. Alright, so this brings me to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, and if you're not already a subscriber to my channel, please hit that subscribe button because I have weekly videos on all sorts of drone content and you really don't want to miss out on anything because it's always really good. Anyways, until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.